lovely to be here with you all today. I'm Hannah from Seek, and I'll be taking you through the 3 masterclasses. The first one being assessing the Australian employment marketplace as an international student. So I will also be next door later this afternoon, so if you've got any questions from any of the presentations that I go through today, then feel free to come and ask me in person as well. Okay, so a bit of an agenda of what we'll talk about. The Australian employment marketplace as a whole, a bit of a summary of what we're seeing at the moment on Seek. I'll also go through the New South Wales Jobs Connect hashtag and how you can actually use this to surface jobs for you as international students. So I'll give you a bit of a demo of how that works, and if you do have questions later, you can always come and ask me about that as well. And then I'll go through some smarter searching, so how your keywords when you're searching for jobs on the platform actually align to the job ads that you're surfacing on the platform, and how you can make it really relevant to you and what you're looking for out in market. We'll also go through industry and role insights tools that you've got access to on the career advice platform on Seek, and how you can access all of that as well. So I'll get into it now and give you a bit of an overview of the market. So why Seek? So as Con said earlier, we've got over 10 million Seek profiles on the platform that employers are looking through on a daily basis for the jobs that they're posting on the platform. So it is the most visited employment site in Australia. So it's really worth you having a Seek profile and really presenting yourself in the best way possible for all of the employers that are going to come to the site and view your candidate profile. We've got 2.5 times the visits of our nearest competitor as well. So a really great platform for you to start thinking over your study and your career journey, updating your details and really making sure you've got some quality information in there that's going to stand out to employers. So with this slide here, I just wanted to give you a bit of an overview of the market in general. So as you can see on this graph, we've got lots of job ads being posted on the platform and less candidate supply. So we've heard from employers across Australia that they're finding it quite hard to find quality candidates for the roles that they're posting. And they've had to get a little bit more creative with how they're actually engaging candidates to apply for their jobs. So a really great time for you as international students studying right now. Lots of opportunities out there and lots of need for talent in the market. So you can find all of these insights on Seek. It's on the newsroom on the platform, and it's all complimentary. And we've got an economist at Seek that updates these on a regular basis. So it's really good to keep up to date with what's happening in the market, what's happening in your industry that you're studying in, and how that's evolving and changing. So keeping up to date, really important. In terms of predictions of employment over the next 4 years, this is from the National Skills Commission. So if any of you are studying in these 4 industries, healthcare, social assistance, professional, scientific and technical services, education and training, or accommodation and food services, there's going to be a big growth in those jobs, in those industries over the next 4 years, according to the National Skills Commission. Not to say that other industries and other things that you're studying are not going to be in demand, but this is the prediction for the next 4 years. So a little bit of an overview there of what we're seeing in the market. And we've also got Grad Connection here today with us, and they are our graduate arm, so connected to Seek, and they've got lots of insights on internships, graduate opportunities, and a lot of information for you as international students as well. A piece of research that they did recently was looking into the amount of campaigns that have been posted on the Grad Connection platform to target international students. And as you can see here in the graph, they found there's a lot more campaigns targeting international students compared to last year. So a really great time for you to go onto the platform, have a look at those graduate opportunities, and start applying for them and getting really ahead of the crowd in terms of graduate opportunities. Really think about Grad Connection as your early planning to get you started in your career and where you want to go. It's never too early to start, so really make sure that you're gaining that experience before you go for that entry-level job. And in terms of Grad Connection, they also have a lot of stats and data on salaries. So graduate salaries that you can expect for different industries that you'll be going into after university. This is really going to help you in your interviews as well. So when you're negotiating salaries, when you're trying to figure out what salary you should expect from an employer, I would definitely recommend to visit these links to the salary guides, select your industry, and get a bit of an idea as to what that looks like for you as a graduate. We do have Grad Connection here today, so you can also ask Dom, who's on the stand outside, a little bit about this tool and how you can access it on the platform. On Seek, we also have the pay calculator, so you can see updates monthly on different salaries across Australia for different roles, the minimum wage, the high band range, and you can get a bit of a feel for what you could make within your career journey ongoing. So definitely check out Seek, check out Grad Connection, and all of the data that you've got at your fingertips. Okay, so job searching as an international student. Now it can get really overwhelming when you've got lots of jobs to look at on the platform, and they all blend into one, and you've got no idea if they're open to you as an international student. So at Seek, and with Study New South Wales, we've taken that pressure off, and we've created a hashtag that's really going to make it easy for you to target organisations open to international students. So here is a quick demo of how you use this hashtag. So you'll visit the Seek website. The hashtag is New South Wales Jobs Connect. If you type that into the keyword search bar on Seek, and then you can look into your classification, say ICT maybe is the industry, and then you can look into specific locations within New South Wales for where you're based. You're then going to be presented with a list of opportunities that are targeted to you as international students. And it's going to be employers that are part of this initiative in New South Wales. So all of these jobs here, as you can see, are open to international students to apply to. You can click on one, and the keywords of New South Wales Jobs Connect is located at the bottom of that ad, meaning that that employer is part of the initiative and you can go and apply for that role. So hopefully this hashtag is really going to help you to find roles in a lot more efficient way and help you actually get a good role and save you a lot of time whilst you're studying and after university. So, a few top tips that I want to take you through today as an international student. At Seek, we get contacted by international students, international candidates, asking for tips and tricks around how to find a job in the current market. So we've compiled a list of 8 things that are really going to help you to find a job and really think about your early planning whilst you're studying. So number 1, research your market. Really, really crucial that you get ahead of what's happening in the market. Start looking into the industries and the disciplines that you're studying, what's out there for those particular industries. You can use all of the resources on Seek and Grad Connection to understand what that looks like for you. We've got a whole role pages tool where you can actually dive into specific industries and understand job growth in that particular industry. You can understand the jobs that are on Seek right now that you could apply to, and also reviews as well. So what is a challenge in that particular role, in that particular industry, and what do people really love about working in that field? So it's going to give you a bit of an idea as to what it's like to work in that particular role, so that you can go and ace that interview, or you can go and network with lots of people and understand the industry in a bit more detail. Number 2, sort your visa. So we will hear soon from Ricario about visas and how you can actually think about your visa options as you go through your study and get that early planning sorted. Some employers might sponsor you if you're a skilled worker and that's an opportunity that's available. But it is an exception, it's not a rule. So really think about your visa, think about the different options available to you, and really get ahead of the crowd so that you're always thinking of that. Learn about the culture. So really, really important that you start to integrate yourself into the culture here in Australia. As we heard today, a few events that are happening tonight. Really think about putting yourself out there, saying yes to opportunities, and really mixing with people to find out what they do for a role, what industries they work in, what types of jobs they have, and that's going to really help you to understand what it's like to live and work here. Tailor your resume and tailor your cover letters. So really think about the qualifications you've gained, the experience you've gained. If that was in a different country, make sure that you are putting that into your resume and making it really clear to an Australian employer what that looks like so that they've got context on where you worked previously or the qualifications that you've had previously. So really think about that as well. Always tailor your cover letter to the job that you're applying to. You want to make sure that you've got different cover letters for each one and you really personalise it and make it your own. Really highlight all the key things about yourself and pick out those things from the resume. Know your technology. So this is a really crucial one because you want to make sure that you're ahead of all of the software that employers across Australia use. It's not always going to be the same. So if you're interviewing remotely, it could be on Zoom, it could be MS Teams, it could be Google Meet. The list is endless nowadays. So really thinking about the software that you might have to interview on and getting ahead with that and making sure it all works in your remote environment. Be prepared to take a step back. Now this is an important one and something I had to do myself when coming from the UK. You might have to take a little bit of a step back, network with different people to build out your network here in Australia. When I was in the UK, I had a network over there that really kind of helped me in that market. But when I came to Australia, it was completely new. I didn't know anyone here, and I really had to put myself out there to start networking with different people to actually find those opportunities and go and get those opportunities. So you can make anything possible. It is out there for you, but you've got to go out and actually get it to make it work. So really think about taking a step back and feeling out your network before you dive in. Understand how to apply. So we will go through a few tips and tricks around the Seek profile in some of the sessions today and how you can actually get the most out of your online brand as well. So a few top tips for international students. Okay, a few builds here that I'll click through. Okay, so networking as an international student. So really think about saying yes to the opportunities. You want to put yourself out there, you want to go to the career fairs, you want to go to events like today and really start talking to employers, finding out about what they love about their role, the organisations, and really be eager to learn and ask questions. Have an elevator pitch. That's a really crucial one because if you get put into a situation where you are talking to an employer and they want to find out a little bit about you, it's really important to have a few bullet points in your head of you as a whole, and that's your time to shine. Really think about a few points on your resume that you want to include in that elevator pitch and that conversation with an employer. Understand the industry that you want to get into. So as I said, you've got the role insights pages on Seek Career Advice. You've got all of the insights on Grad Connection that you can tap into about graduate roles, internships, all available to you as international students. And gain those valuable insights and feedback. Work for meaning and fulfillment. Now this is an important one because a lot of us get hung up on money when it comes to roles, but it's really important as part of your career journey to think about what feeds your soul, what do you really love about what you're studying or particular projects that you've worked on, and really think about that for your future career and what role you go into. Your future career is going to be a long journey, so you really want to make sure that it's something that you're passionate about, and that's going to really help you along the way and find those opportunities. Student clubs and organisations. Now, I'm sure at your universities you've got lots of different clubs that you can join, organisations. That's also going to help you to integrate yourself into the Australian culture and put yourself out there. So I would definitely recommend to start looking into those organisations and getting ahead whilst you're studying. Internships and volunteering. As part of SEEK, we do have a whole volunteer search where you can go on there and you can search for volunteer roles, and that's a really great way for you to start working and gaining experience in the market and putting this onto your resume. So volunteer work goes a long way, along with internships. Career events and connect with employers, so things like today where you get to speak to employers is really, really helpful for your career. And the Top 100 competition. Now, if nobody here has heard of that, this is on Grad Connection, and you can talk to Dom a little bit more about what this is after the session. But basically, in a nutshell, the Top 100 competition is open to all students. You can apply for that on the Grad Connection website, and the winner of that competition gets a graduate opportunity after their study. So it's a really, really valuable competition to enter yourself into and really open yourself up to the top 100 employers across Australia. So I definitely recommend you enter that as well. Online groups and communities and putting energy into your online brand. So whether it's the SEEK profile, whether it's your Grad Connection profile, LinkedIn, really make sure that you've got consistency across all of those online channels that you have, because an employer is going to look at all of those different areas of your online brand and they want to see that consistency throughout. So always keeping it updated. Okay, so smarter searching. Smarter searching on SEEK is really important, and I would recommend having 3 strategies to your search. You really want to make sure that you're surfacing the right jobs for you. So really think about logging into your SEEK profile. Who here has a SEEK profile? Amazing, really good to see. So think about today making it a quality profile, because employers are going to be looking at that and a snapshot of your profile and looking at the skills that you have linked to that profile. So really have a little reflection after the sessions today on what your profile looks like and the first impressions an employer would get. So be logged in, and then all of the job ads that are surfaced for you are going to be linked to your preferences within your profile. So it's going to be a lot more efficient for you. When searching, have 3 strategies. Well, 4 for you as international students. So you can use the New South Wales Jobs Connect to find those opportunities for you as international students. It's going to make it a lot easier for you. Secondly, you can look at job titles. So get really specific on the jobs that you're looking for out in market so that you're getting really tailored results coming up for those specific jobs. Then you can look at skill sets. So start thinking about the skills that you've acquired over your study and start typing those in and seeing what jobs come up for the skill sets that you have. So that's another way of filtering down jobs so that you're surfacing more for yourself. And then lastly, any companies that you'd like to target in your industry. Do a bit of research on our company reviews tab on SEEK. Have a look at some of the companies that are out there across Australia, and you can actually search for the jobs in the keyword search bar for those organisations that you might want to work for. And that's going to give you a really good list of opportunities. So a few strategies there that you can use to smarter search on SEEK. Okay, so I've talked a lot about role insights on SEEK Career Advice. This is a quick demo of the business industry. You can select any industry. This is just an example, but it gives you all of the jobs that are feeding through from the employment side of SEEK. You can click on one of those jobs that might be of interest to you. Gives you an idea of the jobs that you might not have thought of in that specific industry. And you can see all of the opportunities that are available to you right now. So you can click into those jobs, you can see how to become a business development manager, what's expected of you in that role. You can see salaries, you can see the hourly rate compared to the annual rate to give you a bit of an idea as to what that looks like out in market. And you can also start to see, as we scroll down here, the industries with the highest average salaries. So that's going to give you a bit of an idea as to kind of what direction you might want to go into post your study. And then we've also got lots of insights into skills that employers are looking for in that specific industry. So there's a thing called talent search on the employment side of Seek, where recruiters and employers will be going in and looking for you in your profile on their platform. So if you've got specific skills that you're linking to your Seek profile and they're typing those skills in on their side, you're going to come up at the top of their list when they're searching. So this tool here is really going to help you to start adding those into your Seek profile so that you've got all of the skills that an employer would look for that particular role. And if you don't have those skills right now and it is listed there, think about how you could start upskilling in that area and maybe looking at that through your study. As you can see here, you've also got lots of different reviews on the challenges, the good things about the role, the working hours in that specific role, all of the things that you might want to know before you go ahead and get that job. So it's a really great tool for you to start uncovering all of these different things in the market. Okay, and then Grad Connection Industry Guide. So just like on Seek with the Role Insights tool, you've also got all of that information for graduate opportunities and internships. And this is located on the Grad Connection website. So I would recommend having a look on there and seeing what opportunities are currently available, what graduates like yourselves are saying. There's lots of forums on there with real examples of the graduate jobs that they've had and advice from real people out in market. And also what employers and recruiters are looking for in graduate students as well. So this is going to be very valuable for your early planning. And then lastly, just to give you a bit of an overview here of company profiles and where this is located on Seek. Now, if you want to do some research on different organisations, I would highly recommend coming to the Company Reviews tab. And this is where you're going to see the life and culture of that role, the jobs that are available right now. You can start setting up job alerts as well, where you can start seeing those coming into your inbox and targeting you for those specific roles that you've saved. So this is a really, really great resource for you to start researching as an international student. Amazing. So that was our first Masterclass presentation today. It would be really helpful if you could scan the QR code if you've got any questions or feedback on anything you've heard there. And I will pass you on to Ricario, who will take you through the next presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. Well, of course, to take advantage of the great careers opportunities that New South Wales has to offer, you will need a valid visa to work and live in New South Wales after you graduate. My name's Rosario. I'm from the Business and Skill Migration team in New South Wales, and I'm here today to talk to you about some information regarding the role that the State of New South Wales plays in the approval of certain skill visa subclasses. So, of course, all visas in Australia are granted by the Department of Home Affairs, which is a federal agency of the Commonwealth of Australia. The states, however, in agreement with the federal government, play a role in selecting skilled candidates for certain visa subclasses. This is referred to as a state nomination. The criteria to be nominated by New South Wales for a visa is in addition to the visa eligibility criteria that you'll need to have to meet the Department of Home Affairs. In this session, I'm aiming to provide you with sufficient information to understand the New South Wales state nomination process, the eligibility criteria for state nomination for a subclass 190 visa and for a subclass 491 visa. I'll also briefly touch on some of the other visa options available to you. It can be quite complex, and at times it's a very dry topic, so bear with me as I endeavour to simplify the process and the eligibility criteria. So hopefully at the end of this session you'll be better understand the New South Wales state nomination process and criteria. There will be an opportunity for some Q&As after this presentation, and of course we have a stand also here at the Career Expo next door. My colleagues Beck and Edwin and I will be there all day for any further questions or clarifications. We also have a flyer that we'll be handing out there from that stall if you want to visit us. So of course we've heard a lot this morning about how Sydney is a great destination. It is also a very sought after destination. It's very competitive also from a nomination visa process point of view as well. The great lifestyle that Sydney has to offer makes it a very attractive destination. As I said, it is a selective process to be nominated by New South Wales, and again it's because of the lifestyle and career opportunities that are available in the state, in Sydney and in New South Wales. So we often talk about New South Wales, we're very focused on Sydney of course. New South Wales is a great state. It's a very large state, and there are plenty of opportunities to live and work in regional New South Wales. That provides welcoming communities, it's very well connected, and affordable lifestyle and quality education. For instance, we have great universities in Newcastle, Wollongong and New England. So I'll get straight into it. The skilled nominated visa perhaps is the most famous visa that you might have considered for those of you that are considering to live and work in New South Wales. It is a visa that provides permanent residency to Australia. It is a skilled nominated visa. So there are two limbs here. One is you need to meet the basic Home Affairs eligibility criteria for the visa. Okay, so that applies to all visa applicants. You need to qualify for a New South Wales nomination, be living and or working in New South Wales for 6 months. And it is a point-based system. So you need to meet the minimum points-based, which points are awarded based on experience, qualifications and a number of other factors which we can go into more detail if you want to visit us in the stall. So how it works, you need to submit an expression of interest, what we call an EOI, with a Skills Select database, which is a Department of Home Affairs database. Your occupation needs to be in the skills list, which is issued by the Department of Home Affairs, then also needs to be in the skills list for New South Wales. So you've heard a lot about skills shortages. So the Department of Home Affairs publishes a list of skills that are required in the economy in Australia. What New South Wales does then is takes that skills list and then selects the occupations that are most in demand in New South Wales. So your nominated occupation needs to be both in the Department of Home Affairs skills list and the New South Wales skills list. If you meet that criteria, you are eligible for an invitation. You need to ensure, of course, that when you complete an expression of interest in Skills Select, that you're able to provide evidence for any points that you're claiming in your expression of interest. So perhaps one of the visas that are less known is the Subclass 491 visa. The Subclass 491 visa is a visa that allows you to live and work in regional New South Wales. The process is very similar to the 190 visa. It does require a state nomination. There are two pathways for this visa. One is you can apply directly to a regional development authority, which is the RDAs, or you can be invited by New South Wales for Investment New South Wales for a nomination. So it's very similar to the 190, as in there's a skilled occupation list issued by the Department of Home Affairs for this visa subclass. New South Wales will have their own skills list for this visa, so look at the skills for the Department of Home Affairs and determine which skills are required in regional New South Wales. One of the eligibility criteria for New South Wales is for the 491 visa is that you need to be living and or working in New South Wales for at least 3 months or outside New South Wales. So I'm talking to an audience that's in New South Wales at the moment, but it is also open, like the 190, to people that are living offshore. With this visa, you do need to commit and live and work in regional New South Wales for 3 years. That is a condition of the visa. I should also mention with the previous visa, the 190 visa, you also have a commitment to live in New South Wales for 2 years, even though it's a permanent visa. So they're the two pathways that New South Wales has to offer in terms of the state nomination process. As I said, you complete an expression of interest, you need to meet the Department of Home Affairs eligibility criteria and the New South Wales eligibility criteria for nomination. It's a very competitive process, so I won't gloss over that. It's very competitive and it's in very high demand. So some of the other visa options as a graduate you may have and might wish to consider are the subclass 485, which is a specific visa for postgraduate students. The 482, the temporary skills shortage visa, you've heard the term employer sponsorship. This is the visa that if an employer wishes to sponsor a potential candidate, they'll use this visa subclass to sponsor the candidate. The training visa is a 407 visa. It provides further training opportunities for on-the-job training. It's a very specific visa. And then something that you may wish to consider, perhaps if you're a very high-achieving PhD student who's come up with some great innovation, is the Global Talent Visa, which is the 858, which is a very specific visa for very high achievers. For any information on those visas, I'll direct you to the Department of Home Affairs website. New South Wales does not play a role in that. They don't require state nomination. They are Department of Home Affairs, which is the federal agency of the Commonwealth of Australia. If you go on their website, or alternatively, you might wish to engage a migration agent, and you can find those in the Office of Migration and Agent Regulation Authority, the OMARA, for reputable agents. So just really recapping, there's 3 easy steps for a state-nominated visa with New South Wales. One is you need to submit an expression of interest, and this is what we call an EOI. The database is called Skill Select. Does anyone in this room have an EOI in Skill Select? We have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so make sure that your Skill Select is always up to date and it is accurate, and that you can claim the points that you state in your expression of interest. Unfortunately, these visas and nominations are one of those areas where errors are not cannot be fixed. Basically, if you make an error, then your nomination can't progress further, and that's how unfortunately the whole process does work. And the same, I should say, with Department of Home Affairs. Legislation is behind all these criteria, so you need to meet it. You either meet it or you don't. There is really no grey area here. Okay, so once you've submitted your expression of interest, your EOI, you apply for the New South Wales government. Now, you wait to be nominated. So once you've completed your EOI, let's say you have an EOI for New South Wales for a 190 visa. Now, I should say that your EOI, if you're interested in a 190 visa, which is a permanent visa, must be solely for the 190 and must select your preferred state as New South Wales only. If your expression of interest has more than one state or more than one visa type or visa class, it will not be selected by New South Wales for an invitation. So once you've completed your EOI, you just really need to sit back and wait for an invitation. It's as simple as that. If you are fortunate to receive an invitation, then you will apply for nomination with New South Wales. The third step is once your application has been successful with New South Wales, you receive a nomination. So you've been nominated, you have state nomination. Then you receive an invitation to apply for the actual visa with the Department of Home Affairs. Now, whether that's the 190 visa, which is permanent residency, or whether that's the 491 visa, these are really the 3 steps to get the expression of interest, the invitation, the nomination, and then you apply for a visa. I just want to reiterate, the 190 visa is a permanent residency, a PR visa, allows you to live and work in Australia as a permanent resident once it's granted. You do make a commitment because the state of New South Wales has sponsored you to live and work in New South Wales for 2 years. That can be anywhere in New South Wales. The subclass 491 visa, which is the regional visa, is not a permanent residency visa, but does provide a pathway to permanent residency. The 491 visa allows you to live and work anywhere in regional New South Wales, but not in Sydney. Okay, so the Department of Home Affairs has a list of what is called the designated regional areas, and that's where you can live and work in New South Wales. The commitment is to live and work in regional New South Wales for 3 years. After that 3-year period, there are other permanent pathway visas for you to undertake, and the next progression there is what is a 191 visa. For further information for that is New South Wales is not actually involved in the permanent stage of that, it's directly with the Department of Home Affairs. Okay, so if you've completed one Step one, expression of interest, and you've been lucky enough to have been selected and applied for nomination and of course granted a visa. That's when you are welcome to live permanently or at least on a temporary basis for 3 years with the 491 in New South Wales. The skilled occupation list really is everyone familiar with the skilled occupation list? So perhaps a hands up of who's looked at the list and no? Yeah, okay. I thought that might be the case. So the skilled occupation list for each visa class is published by the Department of Home Affairs, and you'll find it on the Department of Home Affairs website. You just Google skilled occupation list, you'll see the occupation list. Each visa subclass will have their own, so there'll be a skilled occupation list for the 190 visa and one for the 491 visa, and as well as other visas, but they're the two that I'm talking about today. In addition to that, you then need to go into the New South Wales website and see if your occupation is on the, first of all, needs to be on the occupation list for the Department of Home Affairs, and then on the New South Wales occupation list. Then you are eligible for nomination, subject to a competitive process. Now, I might just want to spend a couple of minutes on the point system. The 190 and the 491 visas are point-based systems, right? So you receive points on factors such as age, education, previous employment, skilled employment qualification, whether it's overseas, in Australia, and there is a points table. Again, if you go to the Department of Home Affairs website, you'll find the points table for the 190 visa and the points table for the 491 visa, and you can assess yourself on how many points you have. So when New South Wales does an invitation round, we select candidates based on the occupations that are required in New South Wales. So for instance, obviously there are some occupations that are very high demand, for instance, teaching, education, some of the ICT professional occupations, and the list goes on. So we will select applicants that meet the skills shortages for New South Wales that are on the occupation list, and we will select the highest scoring points candidates. So it is really a competitive process. So all I can encourage you is to complete the expression of interest accurately. It's not an area where you can pretend to claim more points and then hope to get through, because you're just wasting an opportunity. You're better to be honest, and hopefully that will work. If not, then you need to really consider alternative pathways. Okay, so thank you. We have a stand next door, and we also have produced a flyer for today, so you're welcome to come and collect one of these or ask any questions. I would like to now welcome back Hannah to the stage, and we're happy to take a few questions before our next break.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any questions at all? Yes. Yeah, sure.
Hi, my name is Ken, and I have a quick question about because I'm a person, I'm a money person oriented,
Yeah.
and when you said that employer are looking for passionate employee, so what do you think about that point, my point of view and your point of view? So is that better to be money oriented employee or passionate employee?
That's a really great question, and obviously money is very important in a job. We all work for money. We're not going to do it for free, but it's really important to have a good balance. So I would say, if you're more a money-orientated person, that's completely fine. Really look at those salaries on the platform, but also have passion for what you do, because money is only going to go so far. You've got to be happy in what you do as well. So showcasing that passion is probably going to get you more money in the future. So really think about that as a good balance, I'd say. But great question.
Hi, my name is Manilak, And I have a look at the website of skill migration of New South Wales, and I understand that to apply for the skill migration, in some occupations it might require the work experience, right? So my question is, what sort of experience that you are looking for? Because the reason why I ask this question, because for us, the student, from July, I think we can work only part-time right now. So do you have any recommendation that how can we gain the skill to be eligible to apply for the skill migration as a student at up now? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. That is a very good question. Okay, so the actual Department of Home Affairs defines skilled employment. They have a definition, and if you go onto the points table of the visa subclass, so if you just Google 190 points table or 491 points table, you'll look at the skilled employment and how you can claim those points. The definition for employment for the Department of Home Affairs is work in your skilled occupation or closely related for at least 20 hours per week. All right, so that's the definition of skilled employment. So you can only claim employment in an occupation that's either the nominated occupation or closely related. Now, closely related is also defined, so it needs to be an occupation that has a career path or is at the same skilled level. And that, if you're doing that for 20 hours a week and it's being paid, then that meets the definition of skilled employment. So the work that you do, for instance, on your student visa that allows you to work 20 hours a week, my understanding is through your sessions, through your study sessions, will meet that criteria if you are working in your nominated occupation. Okay, but I encourage you to go to the website. You'll find more information there. Great question, by the way.
Hi, this is Shiran, and so I got a question on the. I'm doing pathology and in University of Sydney, but as a first-year student, so I have been in a problem with applying for a job, maybe a traineeship program, but I got a lot of rejection from my employers. What kind of tips do you guys offering for guys like me doing a first-year student, and what's the better recommendation tips for you to give me to have more chance to win the employee jobs?
Great question. So we are going to do a presentation shortly on your SEEK profile and how that looks to employers. Were you applying to a job on SEEK? It was on SEEK, yeah. And have you looked at the Grad Connection website as well in terms of internships and graduate opportunities as well? So I would definitely think about having your Grad Connection profile, your SEEK profile, having that consistency, making sure it's updated and a quality profile. And that way it's going to really stand out to an employer. So I would recommend coming to our session in the next one, because we're going to go through a little bit about how to make a quality profile. And we're also outside, so if you want to ask any questions, we can do a demo as well for you.
Hi, I'm Andrew. Thank you for your presentation. And I just want to ask, this is a bit of a forecasting, but I know there's skill shortage and a labor boom in the past few months, especially end of 2022 and early this year. But would you say moving forward, is it better to enter the market next year or wait to ride out the economic downturn for another 2 or 3 years? Bit of an opinion, I would say.
Yeah, good question. I wish I could tell you the exact answer for that. But what I would recommend is looking at the newsroom on SEEK, because you can always keep updated with monthly progress in the market. Currently, obviously, we're in a bit of a tricky market at the moment. There's a lot of hesitancy with employers based on what they're seeing, but that could all change. It changes so rapidly. So if we look at what happened over COVID compared to now and what might happen in a year or two's time, no one can kind of see the future, but it's really important to just keep ahead of the curve of what's happening. Any insights from you?
I think just from a skills shortage point of view, the Department of Home Affairs publishes the skill migration intake every year. It's part of the budgeting process. They've released, the current year, the Department of Home Affairs has published the target of skilled migration, or total migration, I should say, of 195,000. During the last budget, the federal government has presented the number for the next financial year, which we call the program year in migration world, from the 1st of July. It's just slightly under at 190,000. So I'd say they're still expecting a high demand in terms to address the skills shortages in Australia. And from a New South Wales point of view, I should add that we've had probably the record numbers of state nominations in the current program year. And I don't see that changing in the next 12 months, but we can't. We can only go by budget year to budget year.
All right.
Okay.
Hey guys. Thanks for those who just raised. My name's Nate. I'm the MC of your show today. And can we just start by giving Hannah and Rosario a big round of applause for today? Thank you so much for coming down. I hope you guys found that really useful. There were some great questions coming out there. I want you to all stick around. We're just going to pause for just a minute or two because Hannah needs to drink some water so she can get back on stage. And next, she's going to be talking to you about writing an impactful job application. So again, can I just give a big round of applause for our presenters? And we'll be back in just 2 minutes for the next session. Thank you so much.